Good afternoon, everybody. What I'd like to do is call the March 28, 2018 RTC's Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada Transportation Access Advisory Committee meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is for us to pledge allegiance. Everybody stand, please, if we can. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the first of two public comment periods. The first public comment is for anything that's on the agenda only. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on any of the agenda items at this time? Seeing none, then we'll move to item 3.
And Mr. Chair, if I may, is there anyone on the conference bridge? If so, please speak up. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we do have a quorum in case anybody was wondering, even though we had some few spaces here. Is the approval of the minutes of January 24th, 2018. Are there any questions or comments regarding the minutes? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item, 3 and 4, is a consent agenda, and this can be done with a concurrent vote for both at the same time if it is so warranted. Is there any discussion on items 3 and 4 regarding the monthly reports?
And Mr. Chair, is there someone on the conference bridge?
Somebody, I heard somebody, but I don't know if they hear you.
Let me go over and ask. Hi, this is Dan Howland. I'm at the TAC meeting.
And
today.
pardon me, Dan, it's the conference bridge on the chair right there, on the other side there. Yeah.
Oh, is that for the TAC meeting? Hello?
Robert Lee is.
Robert Lee is. Thank you,
Robert Lee. Okay, we got Robert
Meeting
Lee.
has begun.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay. All right, so as I had mentioned, now we already voted on the consent agenda. Did we vote?
We have not voted.
We voted,
Mr.
so
Chair.
I will entertain a motion to approve items 3 and 4. Don't everybody speak up at once. Any further discussion on the item? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Under the regular agenda, we have 5 items. One is requiring an action item, which is item 5, which is to receive an update regarding the monthly operating reports and advise staff if further modifications are needed. Who is speaking on that? Dan? Dan, you have the floor.
So good afternoon, Mr. Vice Chair and TAC Committee members. Dan Howland, Director of Paratransit and Specialized Services. And I'll be relatively brief with respect to these reports. In an effort, as you know, probably 4, 5, 6 meetings ago, we did a consolidation of fleet reports, especially with the paratransit, and we ended up consolidating about 30-plus pages. This was granular information that is still available to you if you want it, but what we were trying to do is make it more user-friendly. And the RTC is making an effort to make the reporting more uniform so it can be shared with committees like TAC and the other committees that we have, like transit amenities, et cetera, and also for the public's consumption with respect to website and various other collateral that we provide the community. So you're going to see report consolidation for the purposes of making it more user-friendly, readable, and informative for people. And we provided this information in your packet that you received prior to this meeting. And it showed that the existing reports and the consolidated reports. And in my hand, I have the existing reports. And just to give you an idea of what we are consolidating here is, for example, the RTC service summary for Strip and Downtown Express, Centennial Express, Westcliff Airport Express, and then getting into maintenance department end-of-month reports, fixed route life miles per sub-fleet, transit fleet inventory for both MV and Keolis. And what we came up with for the consolidated reports was an RTC service summary, and this was all provided to you. Both of these packets were provided to you with your TAC packet for this meeting. And we simply have an RTC service summary for all routes. Ridership, the number of bicycles that were transported, but it is a overall RTC fixed route summary. And then we consolidated the MV Transportation Monthly Maintenance Status Report and Fleet Inventory Report, and we have the Keolis Transit Monthly Maintenance Status Report and Fleet Inventory Report. And just to give you an example with this is, the reports that I have in the existing reports literally go into detail on how much fluid for, say, transmission fluid on March 11th that bus 5407 took, and what we've done. The information's there, but do you really want to be combing through that when what you really want to know as a TAC committee is that we are doing the preventative maintenance at the proper mileage intervals for all these vehicles, and that's what these summary reports do for Keolis and MV. And I'm just going to close with, and I'll be happy to take any questions, but the format that we've provided to you in this packet will most likely change. As I said, we're looking and we're working with our government affairs group to do the consolidation on reports to make them more user-friendly, and we want them to be uniform across the board for all the different collateral, all the different committees that we have, so that we're working off of the same documents, and also the ones for public consumption. So I'll be happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions for Dan? I have one. We're looking through the report. Does it show the number of buses that are down at any particular time that should be online? I was looking through it, and I see where it says unscheduled repairs, but I don't see where it says it was, like, down.
It
Meaning-
talks about road calls,
Yes.
but that is a good point, and I will make a note of that and look at that, because
Yeah, it's got everything else, Dan, except for that
Right.
one thing. So if somebody were to ask, well, how many out of the fleet were out of operation that should have been in operation, that would be a good number to know.
Okay, noted, thank you.
Are there any, no questions? Then I'll entertain a motion to accept the report as Dan presented.
I move.
Speak up now.
Louder?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you very much.
And Mr. Chair, Mr. Facilitator, can I ask who is on the conference bridge? If you could state your name, please?
Mr. Lee, could you state your name for the record?
I think he lost connection.
You might be on mute, too.
Okay.
Mr. Lee, Robert Lee?
All right.
He was
Just-
there.
Yes, just double checking to see if we need to add to the voting record.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is to receive an update on the development of a pilot program for the use of transportation network companies in the delivery of Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada specialized transportation services.
That's it.
And you've got the
Good.
floor.
Good afternoon. Antoinette Braddock, Contract Services Supervisor, for the record. And we are officially launched, so that's good news here. We launched the RTC On Demand pilot on February 12th. So since that time, just a little bit over a month, we have been going strong. We're still, looking at our ridership and seeing what kind of groups of folks we want to, continue to filter into the pilot. We have, as you know, we started with a group of participants who were initially from one of our supplemental services, and those folks have been going strong. They haven't been using the supplemental service at all. They really haven't been using RTC Paratransit at all. We also included a group of visually impaired folks, and they have also been using Lyft pretty steadily. The feedback that we're getting is give us more rides. That is not an option at this time. We're going to keep the rides capped as they are, again, because it's a pilot. So we want to make sure that we keep everybody's, we want to make sure that we set the pace and, don't get people too far off track should anything change with the pilot at any, at any point in time. So we want to make sure that we don't, fully move them off of one service or the other and have something change in the future. But for February, we had about 220 rides and that was from February 12th through the end of the month. And of course, we started late and February is a short month, so that gives you an idea of the ridership there. And overall, it's good feedback. We have gotten some feedback that's, problematic, nothing terribly concerning, but good learning experience for us and good places where we can kind of start to either educate clients or work to educate Lyft drivers. Some of the things that we've seen specifically are from our visually impaired folks, where they have noted that, maybe the driver was not following the GPS specifically and looking more at kind of like what they see on the numbers on a building, and so they weren't dropped at the exact location. So we are working with Lyft to see in some of the areas where we can identify those things happening, bigger complexes like UNLV or hospitals where maybe we identify multiple locations where the client can actually say, I want to be dropped off at the north end or the south end. So they're sure to be, they're sure to get to their appropriate location. We've had a couple occurrences where there's been some surge pricing, which we know with any of the TNCs, whether it's Lyft or Uber, that happens. But again, that's where we assist our clients with some education, help them understand the times of day or things that might be happening in the community that would account for surge pricing. Lyft has worked with us, and we really appreciate this part of the partnership where they, in some of the cases, they have credited the client's account, so we can have the opportunity to educate client, and then the client, has their account credited for that piece of the surge pricing. That, of course, won't be the norm. As we expand this broader, it would not be something that would happen all the time, but again, it helps us in the pilot to learn what to better educate our clients on. And so I'll let you ask questions because I'm sure you have a few.
Yeah, I have a
Elizabeth,
question.
go ahead.
So, is this how do they call Lyft? Do they call them directly with an app like we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll give you, I'll tell you both
Okay.
pieces. So as we were planning this, we understand that we have tons of clients who do tons of different things, right? Not one client fits into one box or the other. So we opened it up to where clients could use the regular Lyft app and manage their transportation on their own without any assistance from RTC staff or otherwise. We also identified that not all of our clients either A, can afford a smartphone, or want to use that type of technology. They might just not be comfortable with it. So working with a technology provider, we have the availability utilizing our customer service department. So our customer care agents actually can book the ride directly through this technology, directly onto the Lyft platform. So client would call in, tell them, that they're part of the pilot and they want to book their Lyft ride, and customer care agent would book it directly through the technology that we have. It's called Safe Ride.
I see. So if they, for example, directly call Lyft to their app, to their smartphone, how do they get credited for that?
It's a great question. So what we do, so the partnership that we have with Lyft is we identify who our clients are, what their ride caps are. We have some pertinent information to their personal Lyft account. So every month, my team and I, we send Lyft a client list, and the client list is associated with their some pertinent information regarding their Lyft account. It's essentially their account number and their ride cap. So on the first of the month, Lyft automatically pushes, it's called an RTC credit, into the client's account. And so you would see, like if you had 12 rides, you would see that you have 12 RTC credits available. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So two questions. The first is, what is the cap, or how is it determined? And then the second question was that in our last meeting, it was discussed that it was going to be a 6-month pilot, but since it didn't start till February, is it still going to be 6 months from time of implementation?
Great, yeah, great question. So your your second question, we'll just kind of go backwards. 6-month pilot will be a full 6 months. So it was from time of implementation through the 6 months. And then the ride cap is, we generate the ride cap is we look at the individual client's ridership history, and we make a determination off of that, with the understanding that we want, so with the pilot, we want to learn, we want people to benefit from the service, but we don't want to completely change their pattern of transportation, because if things change with the pilot, that whatever it changes to, they might not like it as much, it might not work for them. So we have a maximum cap that we're setting for any one client. So you might travel 100 times a month, but we're not going to give you 100 rides.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Well, if somebody like that, say 100 rides, what do you cap that at?
So at this time, a 46 ride is the max.
46?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so that is what we've determined for a lot of folks who, they might go to school,
Yeah.
a doctor's appointment, work, those kind of things. So that's kind of our maximum at this time.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead, Elizabeth.
My question is, are we paying them at a discounted rate, with Lyft, or are we charged like whatever they charge the regular public?
We are charged the regular Lyft
Right.
price, yeah.
Yeah. Can I just make a comment? Okay. I go to this Chinese restaurant at Spring Mountain, Chinatown, and the owner of the restaurant was telling me that, it's not that I'm comparing Lyft and Uber, right? That with him, he doesn't use his car anymore, and all his staff doesn't use their car anymore because they ride Uber, and within a month of riding Uber on a regular price, they give you a special price, and it's only $3 per ride anywhere in the United States, anywhere in Clark County, I guess. So that's really a great price. I was like, surprised that they even had that offer, but it's $3 per ride.
Yeah, so I hear what you're saying. So we did it competitive. We reached out to all of the TNCs and asked for them to provide us information on, we had a scope of work, what we're looking for, what we want. We had some hard lines, we have some hard lines, and we found that Lyft was better suited to provide what we needed from the service. So one of the things, and I'll share with you, it's not quite finished, but we're finalizing it, right? And this is something that Lyft was willing and is really working hard on with us, that they were open to. So we're working on a driver blog. So this is a Lyft driver blog, and Lyft will allow us to put content related to driver sensitivity. One of the things we're doing kind of right off the bat, because we have a decent number of visually impaired clients, is to put some information on how to handle or how to approach someone who's visually impaired. So we're going to put some stuff on how to collapse wheelchairs and all of that kind of stuff. So this is one of the RTC's hard lines that we really wanted from a provider, or a partner rather. And Lyft was really, that's just one of the things that Lyft was willing to work with us on. So that's exciting, and we'll show you guys maybe the next time we come up kind of what that driver blog looks like, and it will never be the final product because it will always continue to update it, but it'll give you an idea of what we're working on with Lyft.
Thank you.
I have one question regarding your statement about surge pricing.
Yes.
Could you elaborate a little more on what that experience has been and what the issue has been exactly?
Yeah, absolutely. So what surge pricing is specifically is that you can kind of think of it as, so you have demand and then you have available vehicles, right? So when there is a time, whether it's a certain time of day or it's New Year's Eve and it's just, busy on the strip, where you have more people interested in the service, then you have drivers available to provide the service, there's an increase in the rate. And so there are times when that happens on the weekends, during busy holidays, or things that are happening in town. And so that's when it is surge pricing. So the thing to understand is that when you're booking on the Lyft app and even through customer care, our agents always tell the client what the price is going to be prior to booking the ride. And then on the app, it also shows you what the price of your ride is going to be prior to booking that ride. So the surge pricing can happen, and it's not something that we can control at all, meaning the RTC. But what it is, and these situations have given us an idea of the type of things we need to educate our participants on. Make sure that they know in advance, make sure that they understand that they don't have to accept that, or they can. It's, some people are willing to, some people don't really want to. And then just really to pay attention to, if they're booking it on the app, what that dollar amount is, and then maybe they can schedule their ride a little bit earlier, a little bit later.
Well, I'm glad you elaborated. That was my next follow-up, is to, if there are no surprises, because they need to know in advance. Now, can you just real quickly think of what was the worst-case scenario of a price surge?
So the worst-case scenario, and so I'm working on getting a little bit more information back, because the participant couldn't provide me specifics, meaning like screenshots of their cell phone, so I couldn't see it for my own eyes, but there was about $13 more than what they had expected to pay, or what they had paid for previously. So I just sent the issue to Lyft, and they pretty immediately addressed it and refunded the client's money minus the $3, and then even the other client that actually was dropped off at the wrong place, the wrong destination, they went above and beyond. They actually gave her, I think, a couple extra ride credits for her inconvenience. So it was very thoughtful in how they were trying to handle the situation.
So overall, your evaluation of what's going on right now is pretty positive?
Definitely, absolutely positive. There's not been an issue that we have come across that wasn't able to be resolved, and nothing that was out of the ordinary, mostly payment-related stuff, and, things that are easy, I think, to educate our customers about.
Very good. Elizabeth, you want to know?
Yes, I just want to clarify one more thing. I know you said that they're capped based on 46 rides. Are they also capped based on the money, a total amount of money they can spend?
So, well, that's a great question. So just to clarify, the most rides we would give one client would be 46 rides. So there are some folks that might have as few as 8 rides, and it is based on their paratransit or their utilization of their past service. So we're not trying to increase services, or we're not trying to increase kind of what their utilization of transportation was. We're just trying to give them something kind of equal to what they were using before. So not all clients have 46 rides, just to be clear. But to answer your question specifically, so how the fares work is the clients are always going to pay the first $3 of the ride, because that's what they would pay on paratransit. So they pay their first $3. RTC then subsidizes the next $15 of the ride. So if it goes beyond that $18, the client has the opportunity to pay the difference or not take the ride. In a lot of cases, so we just go back one step. So that $18, generally, depending on where you're going and the time of day, can cover about 10 miles. So in some cases, that's really accounting for where our customers need to go. They don't really travel beyond that. But there have been a couple situations where, the clients definitely go above and beyond that, and they're happy to pay the difference. Yeah.
Seems like a good system.
definitely, I think so.
Okay, off to a good start.
Thanks.
And if I might add, Dan Howland, with respect to those folks who have those type of caps, if they're para-eligible, they can call up and they can schedule a ride on paratransit.
Yeah, definitely. This is participation. It's not, it does not impact their paratransit eligibility at all.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No action required, just a report. Thank you very much. Item 7 is to receive a presentation regarding recent community outreach undertaken by the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada. Did I say Eileen? Did I say that right?
Eileen.
I did say that right.
Thank you. Good afternoon, committee members. Again, for the record, my name is Eileen Magnera. I'm the Advertising and Creative Supervisor for the Regional Transportation Commission. Thanks so much for this opportunity to go through a highlight and snapshot of some of the events and engagement efforts that we've been able to undergo through the community. So first up is the Nellis Military Appreciation Day event that we actually attended last August, and it was actually the first of one of our many onboard outreaches going out into the community and surveying many different people about the future of transportation. So this provided us with a great opportunity to interact with a lot of the veterans in the community and specifically talk to them about our Veterans Medical Transportation Network as well. Next up is La Bonita, which is a Hispanic grocery store chain located throughout the valley. So over the course of one weekend, we went to all 3 different stores and spoke with several hundreds of people, being able to provide them with all of the outreach materials regarding onboard, which is kind of our primary initiative right now, but just public transportation as a whole as well in multiple languages, and specifically having interpreters there as well to communicate with the customers in Spanish. We also attended the Martin Luther King Jr. Day Parade. We brought out the onboard bus, and we were very proud to be part of this group. And all of the attendees from different schools in the neighborhood had these I Sit with Rosa Parks signs that was really exciting to have out for the event as well. Just last month, for Valentine's Day, we had a Transit Appreciation Day where we actually had donated goodies and sweet treats, if you would, from La Bonita again. We visited several different transit stops all around the valley and surprised customers with different prizes and food items, and everyone was really excited to have us out there as well. We also were at the Bonneville Transit Center. So specifically the Star Fair, the RTC partners with the Clark County School District on many different occasions, but just last month, the STAR, so Students in Transition Accessing Resources, we held the last fair at our Mobility Training Center. And this type of program connects students who need significant assistance with transitioning from high school to adulthood with all the different available community resources. We had approximately 600 different students with various disabilities attending this fair. So the Navia shuttle, which is located here in downtown, it's the first autonomous shuttle here in the downtown area with 3 different stops along the area. In partnership and really sponsored by AAA and Keolis, it is a free shuttle service to anyone in the area who are looking to go to Container Park. There's a stop along Carson and 6th Street, and then Las Vegas Boulevard as well. So for those of you who may not have tried this just yet, it is, again, autonomous. There is a operator who's on board to assist and answer any questions and certainly take control if there's any need. And we're pilot testing this over the course of the year. Since the launch in November, we've had about 20,000 plus rides, so about 150 people per day. Specifically with the RTC's Bike Share program. So this program launched September of 2016 and has rapidly become very popular and is growing as a transportation option for the folks here in downtown. We've had, just to kind of rattle off some stats, we've had more than 10,000 passes sold, which equates to 23,500,000 rides spanning over 70,000 miles, and a fun little fact that it equates to about 2.9 million calories burned. As a result, users eliminated over 70,000 pounds of carbon monoxide in the valley. Just last week, we were able to host Houston Metro, which is a peer transit agency in Texas, and they came to do a technical site visit of our entire public transportation system, as well as different facilities. So key members from their executive team came to learn because they're actually planning on launching their first bus rapid transit, or BRT, route there in Houston. So they came to take a look at our system, the Strip and Downtown Express, which some of you may be familiar with, as well as take a tour of our different facilities. So we're very excited to have hosted them, and we look forward to future exchanges with them. And lastly, the Golden Knights Express service. During this past first kickoff inaugural season for the Vegas Golden Knights, in partnership with them, we've been providing shuttle services from 4 different locations, so Centennial, Henderson, Southwest, and then our Centennial Hills Transit Center as well. And it provides inbound and outbound services direct to T-Mobile Arena from those 4 locations. To date, so as of this past Monday, we've actually had more than 22,000 rides across the 4 different shuttles. And that concludes my presentation on the various events and community outreach efforts. Be happy to answer any questions if there are
Any
any.
questions for Eileen? I got one about the driverless
Sure.
vehicle.
I'll do my best
You
to
mentioned
answer.
that the driver's on board if there is an issue. The one that comes to mind is the one that had an incident, a driverless vehicle, in I think another city, where somebody was hit and died. But I don't believe that particular vehicle had a person on board. It was truly autonomous. This particular thing, what I'm getting at is, have you noticed, or has there been, under the number of rides that you indicated, any safety issues associated with the driverless vehicle that necessitated the person that was in the unit to take charge of it? Are you aware of any incident at all?
No incidents, thankfully. When we first started the program, actually January of last year, there was a 10-day pilot program to kind of navigate the logistics of how the service would run. And it's specifically, again, in partnership with AAA as the sponsor, but then operationally, it's our fixed route transit contractor, Keolis, who's doing it. When we launched in November, it was made apparent that we would have a person on board. So I was actually able to board the vehicle with our Houston Metro folks just last week, and it was my first glimpse at it. Basically, there's an operator on board that has a controller, similar to like a gaming console, and they're able to take over should the need arise. So for example, one of the best examples that the operator, if you would, gave us, because again, the shuttle operates on itself, but let's say there is a car that's parked where it's not supposed to be parked, and now the shuttle has to basically make the decision to switch over lanes and proceed in the next travel lane. It'll actually do so similar to a person who's operating a car, where it'll actually tilt almost inward into the lane that it indicates it wants to go, similar to when you're looking for a person who's looking to merge lanes, and then it'll actually, of course, signal and then do so. So if there's a need on the tour that we did last Wednesday, the operator was able to kind of take control and move us around a couple different areas where people were parked a little longer than they needed to be, and get us back onto the route. But
So
again,
there really hasn't been any incidents at all, any major incidents?
not that I'm aware of.
Great. No questions, comments? Eileen,
Comment?
go ahead,
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
I'm really impressed with the different,
Yeah.
activities that you have planned. So that's really great. Now, is this something that we do on an annual basis? I mean, this community activities, or they change, or depending on whether you have a co-sponsor, or, yeah?
It really just depends. We proactively go out into the community and do several hundreds of presentations throughout the year. In addition to that, we attend most community events whenever staffing is available. So just this past week alone, we were at 3 different events, and like looking at the calendar, which is something I'd be happy to share with you. So if you're looking to see where the RTC is in the community, we can most certainly provide that calendar to you as well. But it's in the hundreds of events that we attend throughout the year.
I see. I just have one more comment. I was shopping at La Bonita one time, and I can see where RTC tickets are being sold. So is this across the board with all the other grocery stores, or certain grocery stores only?
We have a vendor program specifically where they sell our different transit passes.
Yeah.
So La Bonita is one of them. Others are like Albertsons, 7-Eleven, Circle K's. There's a full list on our RTC website, but we have close to 120 or so partners total.
Okay. All right, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Very impressive. Thank you so much, Eileen. Item number 8 is to receive a report on improvements to the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada paratransit certification process. And there she is.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Angela Budavari. I am the ADA Certification Supervisor. Last year, I did have the opportunity to present to you about the certification department and the evolution and plans that we have had to improve efficiencies. Our goal at that time was to develop our reporting and to better monitor our effectiveness and productivity, and also to decrease the wait time for customers to get in for their appointments. So over the past year, we have made significant improvements in our reporting, specifically around the appointment segment of the department. So we have appointment summary reports that allow us to see the average wait time an individual has to wait to get in for an appointment. It also allows us to see how many customers were referred to us from outside agencies, and also how many appointments were booked on a daily basis. In addition to that, we put in place a determination life cycle report, which allows us to see how long it takes to make a determination, whether it be denied, approved, or temporary. It also allows us to see how long it takes us to do renewal by mail applications. And we also put in place an appeals reporting. That appeals reporting allows us to see how many appeals were given to the RTC in a given month, how many were scheduled in a given month, and then allow us to follow to see what the outcome and the determination was for those appeals that were held. So with these reports, it's benefited us greatly because we can gauge the bandwidth in our department, and we're also able to attend to customers in a more timely manner. The successes we've seen with that reporting is that we've made changes in our processing. And with those changes, we're now able to reduce the amount of errors in our data entry through the TRAP-E system, because we have reporting that will allow us to catch those in advance of issuing any monthly reports, and be able to catch any errors that may have been made. It also allows us to have a data integrity report, which we can run and see what the occurrences of the errors are, if it's something that's specifically related to the process, and if that needs to be changed or retrained on, we're able to do that. And then to go along with the reporting that we have, we've also started to do a day-to-day tracking, where we're manually tracking the number of customers we're seeing and files that we're processing. Everything that's happening in the department that's on that certification statistics report is also being tracked in a manual entry spreadsheet, so that we can match and see if these new processes that we've put in place are in fact working and matching up to what we know we're doing in the department. I think one of our greatest successes we've seen is in our booking. We have been able to reduce the wait time significantly for individuals to come in for their appointments. So last March 2017, an individual had to wait an average of 30 days to get in for an appointment with certification. As of right now, that wait time is 14 days or less. If an individual wants to come in sooner, they're able to, but no more than 2 weeks booking time. And we've been able to maintain that for a period of 6 months now, in terms of getting people in a timely fashion. We did that by increasing our appointment slot times. We used to see 48 customers a day, and we increased that by 13, so now we're seeing 61 individuals, 61 people can schedule an appointment any day of the week that we're available for appointments. And by opening up those additional spots, it helped decrease that wait time. And we use our management analysts and other individuals in the department to assist with interviewing customers, so that we don't have a backlog if we have more customers arrive than what we have interviewers to see. A big part of that improvement has also been on the behalf of the Customer Care Center, who started doing calls to customers 7 days in advance of their appointment, so that they can book their courtesy ride and have a reminder that they do have that appointment coming up. So that's helped us because it has reduced our no-show rate significantly.
In accomplishing those two goals, we did see other opportunities to further improve the customer's experience, and we started doing same-day determinations. So July 2017, we started letting people know that they were approved for the service if they were approved on the first level with the interviewer, which means that they're either getting unconditional eligibility or they're getting temporary eligibility. We now have the ability to tell that customer at that time, at the end of their interview, that they are approved and that effective immediately, they are able to utilize the service. We're able to share with them information about RTC products such as rideshare and customer comments. So it's beneficial for the customer because they no longer have to wait that 21-day period to get notification. They're able to start scheduling rides right as they leave the office. We provide them with a card that has the telephone number to schedule rides, has their name and their ID, and their IVR password so that they can use that. Lastly, our most recent advancement has been our appeal hearing officer program. We previously had one hearing officer who heard all our appeals. We now have a panel. We have 5 individuals who are available to hear appeals. This is better for the customer as it is going to allow us to get to their appeal a lot quicker than what we currently are doing. Right now, we strive to schedule individuals within 60 days of getting their request. Our goal is to knock that down by half and get to them within a 30-day period in terms of notifying them that they can come in for their appeal hearing and have one of those 5 hearing officers hear that case. So we are pushing along and making strides, and we'll continue to make improvements so that we can have a better overall experience for the customer.
Certainly are. Questions, comments? Well, ma'am, you can save that in public comment because you're not on the commission. Anybody on the commission that would have a comment or question regarding this? Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Well, I have a couple. Could you explain to me again about what you were talking about, renewal by mail?
So
Could you please explain that a little bit, how that works?
Certainly. Renewal by mail is the renewal process for individuals who have been deemed eligible and their eligibility is coming up. Some individuals, if there's a possibility that their condition can change or their functional ability can change, they may be asked to come in to reassess, reapply, interview, possibly go through an assessment. For the renewal by mail applicants, those are typically individuals who there's not a great chance that they're going to increase their functionality in terms of utilizing a city bus or public transportation, and therefore they're allowed to renew their certification by mail with an application.
How much advance notice do you give on renewals, like 30 days, 60 days?
Right now, we're doing about 45 days.
45 days, okay. The reason I'm asking that is because I'm being asked that, and I don't know the answer. Now I do. The other question I was going to have, your no-show rate for your certification is, do you know what that is?
Our no-show rate right now is about 37%.
Really? More than 1 out of 3? Wow. Is there any underlying reason that you know that is there a commonality of why they're not showing up, or is it just a whole potpourri of many different things?
It's a potpourri of many different things. I think most importantly, we're dealing with a population of people who are not always feeling well enough to attend their appointments first and foremost. So many times when we reach out to someone to find out if they're going to be coming in, they may cancel last minute or say, oh, I'm not going to be able to show up today because I'm not feeling well. Sometimes hospitalizations. For some individuals, it may be that they found an alternative source for transportation. But majority of the time, I think it's people unfortunately not feeling well and not being able to come in.
My final question has to do with appeals. Is the number of appeals, do you have a number as to how many you go through, say, on a given month?
We get an average about 35 appeals a month.
35, okay. Dan, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair, Dan Howland. I just wanted to say that the efforts that our certification department have made under Angela with respect to the customer focus on getting people in for appointments in a timely manner and sustaining that over a period of 6 or more months has been no easy task, and I just want to thank Angela for her excellent efforts. Along that line 2, both Kenny Rodriguez, the customer care manager, and Angela, their efforts on this appeal hearing officer and expanding this panel to 5 folks, and also focused on the customer. The goal is to get people in for appeals within 30 days. We're going to get there, and I want to thank them both for their efforts.
I think the improvements you're making are very significant. Elizabeth?
Question. With regards to certification, once you're certified, how long would that be valid? I mean, is it a year? Or unless they report any changes voluntarily to you, nothing changes, they're certified forever, or?
It varies. An individual can be certified from anywhere for 3 months to a year if they're being given some type of temporary eligibility. If someone is being approved under conditional or unconditional eligibility, then that is good for 3-year time span.
Oh, 3 years, okay.
Any other questions or comments? Angela, thank you so much, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
your effort.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, that concludes our standard agenda. Now we get into the second public comment period, and we do have 3 that have indicated an interest in speaking. The first is Marion Barber. Marion, 3 minutes. Hi, Marion. Over
And-
there.
And Mr. Vice Chair, if I may, is someone on the conference bridge?
Hi, this is Marion Barber. I'd like to address one of the issues that Antoinette Braddock brought up. She said there were no other issues besides fare issues as far as the new pilot program goes. There is another issue. If somebody does not have a smartphone and they try to book a ride, well, they can book a ride for after 6 p.m., but if they have a problem with that ride, there's nobody there to answer the problem that they're having.
Mr. Vice Chair, Dan Howland, I did speak with Ms. Barber prior to the meeting, and she shared that with me, and we will be meeting with Ms. Barber afterwards to get specifics, because that's the type, that it is a pilot, and we want to hear that type of feedback, and we will address it.
Oh, I'm sorry, this
You still have time. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is that the person who has had, one of the people that's had the problem with this issue has contacted RTC on several occasions and received no feedback whatsoever.
I understand, and we will meet with you after the meeting. Thanks, Marion.
On the record.
I have a feeling Dan's going to take care of it. Thank you very much, Marion. The second person that is requested to speak publicly is Marcia Rodriguez. Hi, Marcia.
Hi, hello. The question I had for the certification lady was, if she has a printout, what is required for people to get certified? I'd sure like to have one. Another thing I wanted to bring up, on the new buses, I don't know if it's the 173s or the 183s, if you are put to the front left in the bus, many of them are missing a tie-down on the left. And so if the driver had 4 chairs, you would have one person not restrained properly. And I don't know if what happened in manufacture, maybe they were taking a break and didn't come back and finish up at the right place. But I wanted to tell you that. And then I have another question. What is the extent of the contract of MTM? And who grants them the contract? Is that Medicaid that does that, or is it you?
That's a very good question, Mr. Vice Chair Dan Howland. With respect to Medicaid and MTM, MTM is contracted as the transportation broker by the state for their Medicaid program. We do not have a say in that. We do work with MTM because they use our service, but that is the extent of our relationship. We don't make the choice.
Okay. The other thing, one other thing, the ride check program, I use it a lot, but unfortunately, I can't enter which sites, which addresses, and some of them do not have the name of the location. It confuses the driver, and it doesn't it doesn't list the suite. And And if you use a PTS, if there's a PTS sign, say at Mountain View Medical, it's not indicated for the driver when it comes up on the manifest, and that can be a problem. And those are the things I wanted to address. Thank you.
And if I may, Mr. Vice Chair, thank you, Marcia, for your comments. With respect to, Ms. Rodriguez mentioned Ride Check, that is RTC's online scheduling for paratransit, and I'm glad to hear that you use it often. And I have a resident expert in the back, Mr. Kenny Rodriguez, who will be happy to talk to you about your comments on Ride Check. Also, with respect to the vehicle, I am not aware of that. I will be working with our fleet department to review that matter to validate that that's the case, and I will follow up with you, Ms. Rodriguez.
I did report it to Sandy Neely at TransDev, but recently I had boarded another bus and it was missing the tie down, so I assumed that maybe it didn't get to the mechanics.
I'm going to address that after this meeting today because I need to validate something like that immediately. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. The last person is Barbara Jackson.
Yeah, okay. What I'm trying to say is I don't know if my phone or my procedure is I'm not always able to get to someone after 6 o'clock in trying to cancel a ride or to inquire about the ride itself. And well, I have two problems really. I think the difference between the driver gives us 5 minutes, but we have to give them 30 to 35 minutes. And we are the ones with the problem.
And I'll be happy to speak with Ms. Jackson after the meeting about that as well.
Thank you.
Well, those were the, yes, could you just for the record state your name?
John Handy.
John, okay. John, you have 3 minutes?
Right, I didn't know where to sign up. This was regarding two stops, 6768 and 6769. One is on Brookholder and the other is on Racetrack Road. They're for the Heritage Senior Center mainly. Now, the summer months are coming up, and the overwhelming popularity of the Heritage Senior Center is they give certain programs to lower-income people, such as one day a month, it's free fruit and vegetables. And there's several other programs similar to that for different things, and people have to use the RTC. And also the Silver Star with service has gone down from 3 days a week to 5, so a lot of those people are going to have to use RTC. Well, with the summer months coming up, I took pictures of the bus stops, and I'll send them in. They didn't have them ready for me. And there's no shield for the sun. And we wouldn't want a tragedy to happen. And again, this is the only way that some people can only get to the Henderson Senior Center is by the 217, which is very fine. And so I was wondering, the reason I sent you in the pictures, is there some way, that you could put on the bus stop where it's shaded in some fashion, to where when the degree is 110 or so forth, most of it, or all the people are elderly that get on these programs, and when I send the pictures in with the letters, you'll see that, and hopefully, I know there's only certain things, and you have priority dollars for these type of things for shading, and you want to take the one that needs it most, and this does. And again, and of course, the Heritage Senior Center provides meals every day at a very low cost, and as I was telling Tammy, last week it had a lasagna that was as good as Olive Garden, so it's going to keep getting popular. And there's other senior centers throughout the country that are great too, but Heritage Senior Center is sure second to none. And thank you, and I'll get those pictures down.
If I may, Mr. Vice Chair, thank you for your comments, sir, and appreciate your understanding with respect to expenses and funding, et cetera. We have the information. If you want to send in photos, by all means, you can do that.
Yeah, I will. It'll be a Twitter picture for you.
Yep, and I can't guarantee that's something we can do, but it's certainly something we'll look at, and we'll work with our transit amenities group to take a look at the possibility, okay?
Yeah.
But thank you for that.
Thank you, John.
Tell them 1,000 words.
Is there anybody else in the public that would like to be heard at this time?
Yes, I'm Robert Lee.
All right, Robert,
I'd like to ask you a question about the bus shelter. If the bus shelter could be extended over the sidewalk, it'd be more shade when the person waiting for the bus instead of the little roof that it has now. It doesn't really give you protection on the bus shelter. So I wonder if they can build those shelters so they would have a bigger roof over, at least over the sidewalk, so it would protect the person when they can walk in or sit and wait for the bus.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Yes, your comments, we have a Transit Amenities Group, and they are working diligently on a variety of projects with respect to bus shelters and understand the need, especially here in Las Vegas, regarding shade, et cetera. And what I think I'll do is, occasionally we do have Mr. Carl Scarborough, who is our Transit Amenities Director, and I will ask him and schedule him for a presentation so they can give you an update with respect to fixed route bus shelters.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments? Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
See you in 2 months. That was cool.